let's talk about competition.
Yes.
I mean, let's talk about...
Especially the young group of women.
As far as competition, well, I think younger women have maybe an advantage in one way and maybe a disadvantage in another way. I think younger women, of course, sports has been a wonderful alternative to really teach women how to compete fairly.
I totally agree with that.
And a healthy way of really working with other women and supporting other women. I think that's it. But again, there's a lot of young women who are not involved in sport programs are maybe a little shallow. They're really being pushed by marketers and the media even more so than ever, trying to measure up to what is an impossible measurement. Again, they were talking this morning on the Today Show about, I think it was one particular actress. They had airbrushed her picture, which all of them are airbrushed, but she was actually upset that they had done so because it really did not even suggest that that was her body. And here's an actress that's actually speaking out and saying, this is wrong, this is what's happening to women, that we're being told this is the way we're supposed to look, and even my picture was airbrushed, and they took off weight, they took off part of her thigh. She says, I don't have thighs like that. I'm not that thin. And it's interesting that, but young girls are also buying that. They're buying into that. And they think that everything's still based on finding a mate. If I don't have the right man, if I don't have the right shoes.
And if you're in the room, you might be going for the same man I'm going for, or
and the man is important.
Yeah.
Now I understand biology.
Of course.
Biology
No
is the mating is a natural
course.
instinct and so forth. But yet women really have to be taught by their mothers, by their fathers, and other women that it's not okay to hurt your sisters.
Yeah.
And I think that's the premise also, is that we have to take care of one another.
Nancy, tell me about your experience. I know you were a people-to-people ambassador to Beijing and Shanghai. Tell me about that.
I was contacted by the people-to-people group, and as a psychologist, there were a group of psychologists and psychiatrists and mental health professionals, public health professionals that were asked to go to China as a delegation to look at their public health system and to have an exchange. The people-to-people society was developed by Eisenhower, which is again bringing Americans with knowledge and expertise into areas for dialogue. Not only do you learn what's going on in their communities or in their health system or whatever in that particular part of the world, there's a sharing of information, and totally rich. You meet with people in the schools, the hospitals. We saw different healthcare, as far as using massage, using all different types of technique. East meeting West as far as medicine.
Wow,
and it was a wonderful opportunity to meet these people, meeting face to face every single day and talking about what you did. And as a psychologist, one of the things that we found in China, mental health is still really, it's not a large area of concern. In fact, they don't really think about that very much. In fact, the theory is it's okay to be schizophrenic, crazy, but it's not okay to be depressed, because depression means basically you're a slacker. In the society in China, it's all about community. It's all about us. It's not a we. It's not an I. It's all about the community. Always saving face, always making sure the community is okay. So if anyone is not okay, that affects the community. So really, it's kind of the same maybe a little bit in our own society. You can be physically ill, but being mentally ill, it's not okay. Well, it's even worse in China as far as that goes. So for me, it was an exciting opportunity to really talk about some changing things that were going on in China, and hopefully, again, helping them to deal with some of this depression and other different anxiety disorders, and of course other mental illnesses or mental health issues that they really need to look at.
Did you learn much about what it's like to be a woman in China?
Oh, absolutely, because again, they're going through the one child, every family one child only, and basically, communism has done a lot for the people of China in many, many ways. I don't think people understand what communism has done for some countries. It gave a lot of people an opportunity to become more equal rather than being in a royal or a feudal system. I mean, it allowed them to really have an opportunity to advance. Again, women, again, they're still somewhat subservient in that society as well, and as far as birth control, and there's a lot of controls on both men and women there, though, too.
Okay. Nancy, I read that you're a nationally certified traumatologist. What is that?
Well, a traumatologist is really crisis intervention.
Okay.
Trauma, there's different terms for it: crisis intervention, trauma. Again, it's another form of training that I've received. A lot of this training really has come from a lot of the disasters. Of course, Florida has had its share of disasters, which I've responded to. I've responded to disasters all over the United States. California fires, 9/11. I was there after the World Trade Center was bombed. Missouri floods. Every place had its own particular disaster. So trauma is a part of disaster, and so basically it's another way of treating some of the symptoms of trauma.
That you, when you were young, that you noticed a difference in the way girls were treated versus boys.
Yeah.
And that kind of sparked you, I think, to go for the kind of life you had.
Well, and I think you even find that out when you're continuing your education. It's like, well, what are you going to do with this education? You're just going to get married and have children and stay home. In fact, that's been discussed in our society, that there's many women that aren't using their education, that aren't using their talents. And I'm not saying it's not right or wrong, but that there are a lot of women out there that we really need their talents. We need them to come back out into our society. But yeah, there's always that little message behind. I've even heard some people I know really well say, well, she's just going to get pregnant and be a homemaker here sooner or later, and I think that really always kind of offended me, because I really felt like, don't take me for granted, and again, I'm still very, very much about equal everything for men and for women, still equal pay, which we still don't have.